welcome to Valley Boys TCG. CK here, and we got some Battle Spirits gameplay. I am playing a new purple build, focusing on the reanimate and basically playing spirits out from trash. So we're going to have spirits like Vellium, the promo spirit, and Nocturna, also able to play spirits from the trash. And I'm playing against Buddy here from Locals Guild. We're playing a vanilla green deck, something like that. I asked him about the build, what he was playing, because I couldn't figure it out early on. So it's a lot of vanilla green spirits, going from there. So here you see we start off with the Boa. We need our cursed spirits to go ahead and go in and basically die, just because we need to fill up our trash for Nocturna to bring them back in, and in combo with Vellium to use his effect to pop things that are suspended. So we're going to try to see if we can get some combos going here. The deck was kind of inspired by some of the comments that you all have left here. Somebody recommended or suggested trying to make the reanimate deck kind of work with purple. So we're trying our version of it. Hopefully we'll have a short video up soon that'll have the profile. So we don't have much going on, so we just go ahead and core up the Boa. And we're debating whether or not we want to block or if we want to just take the hit, because we kind of want to get our cores up. So we're going to head and let things go through just so we can core ramp a little bit from our life, just because we do play a bit of bigger spirits. So here you see the Costume Artist, a cursed spirit, and a spirit that helps let us get some spirits in trash while we draw with it. So Costume Artist is a really good card to put in almost any purple deck, let's be honest. So we swing with the Boa first so that we have a little curse if he has a way to deal with it. If not, then we can go ahead and pop it with the Costume Artist, but he prevents us from utilizing the Costume Artist by popping that Ice Shield early and ending our turn, which is a smart play because it reduces our card draw and it reduces us sending something to the trash. So it kind of counters our play. It's a very early Ice Shield, but I think that kind of indicates that he probably has a couple in hand to be able to pop it so early. And it also ties in very well with the Beldigor play here. So he ends our turn, and instead of us being able to pop our own Boa and getting a card draw, he pops it, getting value. We get no value. So he goes, takes a swing. We decide to go ahead and block it there with the Boa, and then we're checking for flash. I go ahead and flash and use Counter Curse, another newer set card that I haven't really used at all in any of my decks. So since we're running a lot of cursed spirits, we decided to give it a shot here, and it works to help us get a little curse blocker turned into a very valuable blocker. And then he's going to swing with the Beldigor, and we decided to take that one from life. Now we're getting ourselves a little low. We're down to 2 lives, so really hopefully we see an Ice Shield soon, because we definitely need to set an Ice Shield. But I don't think we've seen one yet. So we pay 5 there to get the Black Lance to get some card draw out. Hoping to finally have seen an Ice Shield, but I think we're still missing Ice Shield. So we're going to have to be very careful with our plays going forward, because we've pushed ourselves to a really low area, and I think we should avoid attacking. Probably going to have to stick on the defensive end here and just core up. And do we pass turn? I think we pass turn. Yeah, it looks like we passed turn there. Okay, cool. So we're passing turn just because I'm pretty sure that's not an Ice Shield set on our end, and I'm pretty sure he's got one on his end. So we're kind of playing from behind, but that's okay. This deck, this combo kind of needs a little bit of setup. So here we see we see a little Fire Ant Man come in. Those set 2, the Ant Spirits are so good because they're low cost and high DP that they should be better than what they are. It feels like Ants is just missing something to really take it there. It's a fun deck. And so we decided to block with the Black Lance because it would have been big enough, but he uses suppression offensively to deal with our Black Lance. So that was a very good use of suppression there. But you see his hand size is very low now, and so he decides to pass turn there. Doesn't want to lose the Beldigor yet. We have a few things in hand, so we're going to start setting things up. So we pay 4 to get the Vellium out. So now that we've got the Corpse Knight Vellium out on the field, we can hopefully get some things going. We core him up to get him a little bit beefier, and then we just pass turn again. And I believe the reason we pass turn is because we are probably have reanimate in our burst, but the problem is reanimate does not work on our opponent's turn. Or reanimate does work on our opponent's turn. Let me rephrase that. Vellium only works during your attack turn. So that's the trick about Vellium. If he had worked all turns or any turn, he'd be a much, much stronger card and probably a bigger staple for purple. But he is only during your attack step, or during your turn, I should say. He's only during your turn, so you're going to have to be forced to play things. So here we do another Black Lance to get some more draws in, and we're trying to see if we can get something going. Now the other problem is it has to be an exhausted spirit, so we have to see an exhausted spirit in order to get this to work. So now we're just kind of playing the defensive game, playing it out and waiting so we can actually get the combo off. I think we can swing in with Black Lance, get our Curse Spirit going in. He decides to take it from life, and he pops another Ice Shield immediately. So we have not broken that life at all. He popping those early Ice Shields, or popping those Ice Shields so immediately, keeping himself up to 5 life, I think kind of is hurting him, because it looks like he's got a couple of bigger spirits now left in his hand, and he doesn't have enough cores. Had he let me chip him for some damage, he would have had a little more. But here, where it looks like we're setting another Ice Shield, which is probably why he popped the Ice Shield last turn, because he had another one in hand anyway, so he wants to keep his life up high to avoid, I guess, getting chipped down. But I think, again, that's the trick on Battle Spirits, is you kind of want to take a little bit of damage early on just to help you get some core ramp if you don't have any core ramp initially built into your deck. And so now we're paying 4, and we have Nocturna out, but we don't have the Amethyst Sanctuary. Without her Sanctuary, she does not get to play out Cursed Spirits from the trash. So we're going to see if maybe we can trigger her deletion effect, although removing the cores from our opponent's spirit isn't going to do much at this point. So as you can see, the deck, it has combos, okay? Nocturna to trigger Vellium, Reanimate to trigger Vellium, but you have to see the pieces, and currently we're not seeing any pieces, and that's kind of annoying because we should be able to push a little more damage here. This time he does let these checks go through, and we decide to pass there just so that we don't have to, we don't lose too many blockers, because again, we only are down to 2 life, and I believe we have not set an Ice Shield yet. So I'm hoping that he sets or plays something that will let us trigger whatever our burst is. And here he's paying 3 and hits us with the Ritual Fire. And so he targets our Vellium, so Vellium is now gone before we ever got to use his effect. Big sad there. We really wanted to make use of him, but it's fine, we can rebuild. Okay, so we are... brings out the Blade Beast Spirit, so we are at risk of lethal here. As you see, he's got 3 spirits. We only have 2 life, 1 blocker. But we do have 1... looks like we do have the Scope Owl in hand, and yep, Scope Owl comes in. Can block with that and exhaust something else. So now he can still ping us down to 1. He decides to pass there. Core draw, so let's see if we can get through. So we do see the Amethyst Sanctuary, so that's a good start there. That means we can get another spirit out with the Nocturna. And then 3, we do get another Vellium back in play, so now we can go ahead and get the combo going. So we'll swing with the Nocturna, use her level 2 effect to tap down the Sanctuary, and it lets us bring back a spirit. We bring in the Boa, which will trigger Vellium's ability to pop the Blade Beast there. And now we're doing some board control while basically taking back control of the game in general. He's deciding whether or not he's going to block a Beldegor. He takes the life hit and then hits the Ice Shield to end our turn. But not bad. We finally got the setup going, and he only has 1 card in hand, so He'll have 2 to start this turn, depending on what he pulls here. We still have 3 blockers. So he would need to go 5 wide, essentially, to get through everything, depending on what he has to deal with our board at this state. And so we see the Nebula Dragon come down, which is interesting. He can go ahead and pop the Vellium, but that will trigger Reanimate, which will let us... First, we trash the top 3, and we get to choose one of those 3. We get Vellium back to hand. So, of course, we need one of those for our combo to go. And then we can decide whether or not to pay the cost. And it looks like we do. It's only a 2 cost here to bring another spirit back. And Reanimate lets us bring back something that's 5 cost or less, but it does not designate color, which is very key here because that means we can bring in the Scope Owl for no cost. We don't have to pay the 4. And now we have a Scope Owl here that's basically going to save us the game because he can swing in, block, and that'll keep us out of lethal range. And so now we're going to go ahead, get our turn back. He decides to pass to keep his blockers in hand, but Scope Owl will tap something down if it doesn't block it. Nocturna will let us get another thing on board. And then we did show that we do have another Vellium in hand, but instead we decide to Thorn Prison here, and now we're just can go for game. No burst, and it looks like he just has a spirit in hand, so we go with Nocturna to play out, paying the cores to get another Boa out. He can block it. If he blocks it, it's fine. Then we can swing Scope Owl, which will tap down something. Really, it's basically game here. He has no way to stop these 4 attacks. No burst set. And I guess he does not have... I probably ran through almost all his ice shields. I think we saw 3 already. So yeah, as you can see, he only had a spirit in hand. So we're just going to go ahead and swing out for game. So that is the basically Reanimate combo, or the Vellium deck. That's how we built it. So let us know what you think of the gameplay. Let us know what you think of the deck. And hope you enjoyed. Come back next time.